Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Entrepreneurial Finance, the process of decision-making of venture capitalists. For you as an entrepreneur, it is important to get to know the process of decision-making of a venture capitalist, because this is how you approach a venture capitalist and this is how he is going to deal with you. So how do you approach it? How does it all start? With the contact phase. Basically, what you do is you have to contact the venture capitalist either directly or indirectly. It's probably better to do that indirectly via a person who has a good contact into the venture capital scene. This is, if we go back to that, why it is important to have the right business angels with the right network on board. Because especially these guys, they can help you a lot in finding the right venture capitalists and in dealing and negotiating with them, because they're in the same boat as you are. They have shares in the same company you have shares in. So that's the first start. You contact them, maybe with the help of others, and you send them your executive summary. Second step is the venture capitalist looks at the executive summary. He says, it looks nice, it looks interesting, I want to see the business plan, I want to see the team. So this is what happens in the next step. The next step, normally you do a company presentation and you present your business plan by doing that. Honestly, up to 90% of all the proposals don't get to that stage, so will be sorted out before. There's not only a question of quality, there's also a question of it doesn't fit to the venture capitalist, or the venture capitalist already has an investment in the same field or whatever, so it's not going to happen. If you are in that stage, you have to do a company presentation, you have to present yourself as the management, and then everything is true what we said before. You have to convince in the first 30 seconds to 3 minutes. When the venture capitalist is still interested, he'll go into the detailed analysis phase, and detailed analysis is the due diligence. He's going to look in the business plan in detail, and he's going to look into each document of your company. He's going to talk to everyone in your and around your company and so on. Especially in the US, they also talk to competitors, they talk to customers, potential customers and so on. So they really try to get to know your company and to your relationship towards others, your boundary spanning activities. And the last stage, if a venture capitalist is still interested, he's going to negotiate a deal with you. And this is the final stage. And afterwards, you ideally sign a contract and go to the notary and sign the contract also there. So to put this all together, you have a contact phase first. And this contact phase could last a month, could last longer or shorter, but normally, at least if you have a longer list or maybe just a short list, it takes you some time to do that. And afterwards, the venture capitalist tells you interested or not. When he's interested, everyone is going on with the business plan. Non-disclosure agreements are normally not signed by venture capitalists. And actually, all those investors don't sign non-disclosure agreements anymore because it's not going to make sense. There's a good blogs that tell you why venture capitalists don't sign non-disclosure agreements. And if you look at that, it's not going to make sense anymore. Venture capitalists don't want to copy your business. They want to do venture capital investments. So either they look at you more closely and are interested to invest, or they don't do it. And the probability that they get the same idea at the same time, or they have parts of these ideas in their portfolio, is always very, very high. So signing non-disclosure agreements just doesn't make sense for them. The rough analysis phase can last long or not that long, 2 weeks, 2 months. Maybe, yeah, this is probably good timing, good time estimation for that. And after this rough analysis, there's a so-called letter of intent. Letter of intent is a piece of paper where the venture capitalist basically tells you, I'm intending to invest into this company. This letter is really worthless. However, it tells you you can proceed in the process. And proceeding in the process means making that due diligence. If you have patents, you have to make a patent due diligence. You need patent attorneys in there. You need attorneys to look in all the details, contracts, papers, whatever. That can last long or not that long, but 1 to 3 months, maybe a little longer, can be a good time estimation for that. And then if the venture capitalist said that is still interested, he's going to give you a term sheet, which is the investment proposal. And the term sheet, he has the terms of the deal, the valuation, the money he's going to put in, all the contractual details, and so on. And in the very end, you go into the negotiations then. That could be very fast if you just say, it's a nice term sheet, I'm going to sign it. Or it takes a little longer to negotiate that with the venture capitalist, which might be also 1 to 3 months. So what you can see altogether, this process might take 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 month, which is altogether 9 months, which is quite an amount of time. So you have to take that into account when running out of money, which you probably shouldn't do when contacting venture capitalists. But be early enough when contacting the venture capitalists. Actually, some venture capitalists also love to have exclusivity when they go into that process here. It's always a question whether you as the entrepreneur want to do that. Venture capitalists will always argue with you, if I spend time on that, I want to make the deal, or at least I want to be the one who can decide on making the deal or not. So I need to be the one, especially when I spend a lot of time here for the due diligence, I want to be the one who has the first choice. For you as an entrepreneur, it has a downside. Whenever he turns you down after 6 months, you lost time on the one hand, and it's hard to get back to all the other venture capitalists you contacted here. So you have to take that into account, and maybe this is an issue you might want to discuss with your venture capitalist, whether it makes sense for you. You might want to get away with that, but it's not easy going, I can tell you.